episode covers the common complaints and controversies of social media, then it's mostly just two dudes search. Oh my god, fuck. It's cold. Let's go inside.
Yeah, we can just get started. So,
Why do you even call it that?
the Cuckshack?
Yeah.
We call it the Cuckshack because it was a meme a couple of years ago where we actually literally lived in like a really shitty cabin that Kate's parents used to own. It was like really run down and crap because like our current living situation that we did have got compromised, so we had to move back in with the parents, but we absolutely did not want to live in the same house. So we said we would rather live in like the really like crap property at the back of your farm to live in the same household. So we just did like emergency renovations, installed internet, and did all our work there until we could move out again. So the online like drama is like, oh yeah, look at that, they live in a fucking shack and they're cucks, they sleep around and all that. So we just turned it into a meme. So that is now the identity.
That's how it came to be. The mystery is solved.
That is the mystery of the Cuckshack. Yeah, so everyone who isn't aware, this is Rags. He is mostly known for his YouTube shit. What would you best describe being your YouTube shit? Like, what is the content, would you say?
Well, I would say that it's a mix of some magical things, just anti-SJW stuff, anti-feminist stuff. I'll do video game related stuff. Every once in a while I'll do some podcast live stream. Gonna get more into that as time rolls on, especially because I'm gonna be devoting more time to this. And I guess that's probably the best way to describe it. I do this, I do that. I ain't no feministy type.
Like you don't want like the whole SJW thing to be like your whole shtick. You're trying to like branch out a little bit, right? Yeah.
I don't mind if it is. I enjoy it. I think it's entertaining and fun. And I think a lot of people really go, they really go for that kind of content. They really like to see it. But I did start as a PC versus console channel. But eventually you just kind of hear the same thing over and over enough times to where you're like, I want to branch out and do other things. It's time for me to sort of.
Plus, like the whole like tech and like console shit's kind of done to death at this point. That's like what every like 13-year-old little boy wants to talk about.
Yeah, and I think when I started doing it, there was kind of a hole that was left behind. Blackbuster Critic, he was the inspiration for my whole channel. And he did all these great console PC debates back in the day years ago. He had a few accounts, and he knew his stuff, and he made people look like fools, and it was very inspiring, and that was the kind of thing that I was passionate about. I got a PC, I saw how amazing it was, and I wanted to, start doing that sort of thing. And then I enjoyed doing the, response kind of platform style thing, and it sort of took off. And now here I am injecting more, social oriented stuff into it because I moved away from the PC console stuff. It just stopped interesting me. And it's kind of like, for the most part, it was the same video over and over. And I got to the point where I felt like a broken record. So I'm sure I'll revisit it as time goes on. But chances are it'll just be as I'm talking about games, as I'm talking about this, that, and the other thing, I'll throw in that PC stuff because gonna be hard for me to. It's hard to go back to consoles. I tried, but man, I just wanna gloat and be an asshole about it.
I can't even play consoles anymore. I just like I put the controller in my hands. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was playing on PC right now.
I've got I've got a controller, but I use it only every once in a while as a novelty. Just the novelty of having a controller that I use. But that doesn't really last long. A couple minutes go by and I'm like, oh, okay, I wish I could hit things. That'd be useful.
I feel like a granddad because anytime I want to play like a game with kind of like analog-y controls, I still use a PS3 controller hooked up to my PC. I have to download like a very special Chinese driver just to get to work with Windows.
There's some stuff you can download for like the PlayStation controller is what I use because I do have a PlayStation 4 in the corner in a box. I played it for a little bit, but it just couldn't hold up to my PC. It wasn't even close. At the time, I had a pretty middle-of-the-road competent PC, and it just blew it out of the water, and it's really, really hard. Just from a purely performance standpoint, it's really, really hard when you get used to, just something as simple and basic as playing at 1080p. It's 60 frames per second with a mouse and keyboard. How can you go to a console after that when that's the norm? And now I'm doing 1440p or 4K on everything.
God, you sound like my friend.
100.
He's like, oh, I can't play PUBG unless I have my super ultra widescreen monitor at 280 frames with 144 hertz, and like anything dips under that, I can't play it. It's like, fuck, man.
Man, G-Sync is one of the big things now. It's like I can't even play without it. It spoils you. Things get better and better and better, and you don't want to go back. You get spoiled by this stuff.
I have to admit,
screen tearing and
I picked up my 144 hertz monitor last year, and going to play the PS4 that we recently bought, playing Horizon Zero Dawn, which I think is capped at 30 frames. You can see it's like a stop motion picture now. It's like, oh man, I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah, it's like you're playing a damn slideshow, a PowerPoint presentation. I got the closed alpha for Hunt the Showdown, and the game itself is really cool and neat, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. But there's no it's a closed alpha,
no graphics.
So I'm willing to give it all the passes a closed alpha gets. But man, you don't have any graphics settings. It looks great, but there's no way to turn them down or up. You get to choose a resolution, and that's it. And it runs at like 25 FPS, which is a problem when you're trying to shoot things.
God, I'm just trying to think of like
rough.
how many people are we actually appealing to right now? Like, how many people have an 144 hertz monitor? Like 5% of the gaming community, or what? What would you say?
Well, I don't know. I think you can go on Steam and find some metrics, but really it's more about. It doesn't really matter so much because you could have people playing at 1080p, and even if you can't see the frames, the higher still is the better. You feel them. You notice them. They're in the back. They're in the back there. All those extra frames. You might not be able to visually see them, but they're there. You can feel it. It's really strange when you talk about frame rate for a lot of people because it's not something you could exactly explain. It just feels more on point. And as I swap from game to game, you get it. You play Dirty Bomb and it's maxed out at 144, or Overwatch, it's maxed out at 144. And then you kind of swap to PUBG, which is floating around in the middle. You're like, okay, it's definitely different.
I feel the best way to describe 144 is like whip your mouse around really quickly. The difference will be is that with 144, you don't have to wait for your monitor to compensate to kind of see what's going on again. It's smooth all the way through. You don't get that kind of buffering staircase effect that you get if you're running at like even 60.
Yeah, your cursor isn't trying to catch up with what your mouse is doing. And again, G-Sync has spoiled me too. There's no way I'm not going to be able to play with it now. You recognize it instantly that it's off once you're used to having it on. In fact, the first time I turned it on, when I got this, it's over here now, but I got another G-Sync monitor here. But when I was playing on my first one, the first thing I did was I loaded up Battlefield 4, and I was going to see, okay, let's see what this is about. Let's see what G-Sync's about. What is it like to have no screen tearing, to have your graphics card that's running in tandem with your monitor, and they're all cooperating as they should. And it felt weird. It was almost, I'm not going to say it was sickly, but it was so good. It's like breathing pure oxygen for the first time. It's very, very strange, but it's excellent.
It's like the first breath out of the womb. It's like a new world.
Yeah, except there was the opposite of crying obnoxiously. It was insane. And then from that point on, you can't go back. You can't go without it because you see all the screen tearing, and it's hard. It's a tough sell because you have to have people see it. You have to see it with your naked eyes. You can't really show people because they're looking through their monitor. So it doesn't really do it justice. It's kind of like VR in a way.
I was about to say that. I was
VR
literally
yet.
about to go on a tangent. Like, oh, have you tried VR yet? Do you have your own Vive or all that shit?
No, I haven't tried VR. I'm not against the idea, but I'm not sold on it. I've heard good things, but I've heard a lot of lukewarm things. It depends on the games, and I certainly have the hardware for it. It's just a matter of whether or not I don't know if I'm interested, but I don't know if I'm interested enough to get into the start, pay the money to get inside the gate.
Like, I think it still needs a couple more years to kind of really flesh out. It still feels kind of gimmicky right now, especially with the price point.
Yeah,
like $700
to
to kind of flip virtual burgers and like touch virtual boobies with no like prehensile feedback on the touchings. Like, well, I could just spend the same money and touch real ones or like rubber ones that I could at least use more than once. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to justify.
Yeah. No, let's leave that thought.
Was that a bad tangent? We don't want to go on that tangent.
Bad tangent.
Bad tangent.
We're demonetized anyway, but
I don't have monetization on any of my videos, so who gives a shit.
Oh.
Let's try and steer this back in the furry direction then. Let's talk about...
Oh, well, gee, okay.
Yeah, I know,
God.
can't talk about fucking monitors and graphics too much. Jeez, we've got to think about the target audience here.
Yeah.
Shit, what was I talking about? Yeah, so you have a mascot for your YouTube channel. It's like a Shiba Inu. Where did that
A
develop?
mascot is that's what very naive people call it. It's a mascot. He's like, yeah, it is. It's my mascot. I'd call it avatar. Then people said it's your Fursona. I'm like, aren't you clever? I was like, yeah, sure, call it what you want. That's fine. Mascot, avatar, doggy.
Digimon. So how did that all start anyway? Like, when did you start using the dog character? Was it from the very start, or did you just kind of have the idea at some point?
I used it on and off. I did a few webcam things, but I didn't really care for them. It's a lot easier to just have an image, to edit it, and it gives you a lot of character. The main reason, the editing, all that stuff, that's really just kind of a bonus on the side. Really, it is so that people... I would rather talk to an image, actually, than talk to a webcam of a person. It's distracting, in a way.
Yeah, like I have to turn off my shit for this, otherwise I just kind of stare into your eyes and fall in love, you know what I mean? So I gotta keep that away.
I'm not gonna blame you, and I'd hate to deny you that privilege in the future. But and this has happened recently. There's like Twitter is down, and I don't really care all that much about it. It's fucking Twitter. It's cancer, pure, unadulterated, military strength, industrial grade cancer.
We'll talk about Twitter once we're done. What are you? Oh yeah, the mascot. I mean, not mascot.
Yeah. There's just people who use icons, it's a brand image. It's instantly recognizable because all people look different, but people are people, people like the idea of a cartoon. They like the idea of an image, something that they can, this romanticized, idealized, stylized picture. And it's even better when it moves, when it does things. So Kitchiki's my artist, and she's amazingly talented. She has this great Disney style. And a lot of people are really fond of that. I used to just use stock images, and I just put, glasses on it. And that's okay. That's fine. But they weren't mine. The images didn't belong to me. And if I wanted to monetize them, I had to buy a license. So I did that for the old videos. And then I decided I need to get images done for me, something that's unique. Because technically, somebody could just go to this site. It's 123rf.com, something like that. And they could buy the license for it and use it. And
do the exact same thing.
Nothing I can do. Yeah. So I got that done, got an image, and I want people to focus on what I say. Really, ideally, is really what I want. I mean, the doggy is just there for entertainment, but and the other reasons, the editing and everything. But the primary reason is so that you just focus on what I'm saying, focused on the arguments I'm making, focused on wherever the reason leads to. Don't think about, hey, it's the such and such. It's someone who looks like this, who's this age, who's this race. And instantly it always comes up. Whenever someone goes back and finds a picture of me from 2.5 years ago or so, and they'll find the most unflattering frame to capture.
They did the same thing to me. Like, I'll be blinking. It's like, look, he's fucking retarded. Look, his eyes are sloping down. Or, like, your mouth will be open, like, kind of, like, breathing. It's, oh, look, he's fucking hurling in the air. Fucking swallowing flies.
It's such a pathetic, disingenuous thing to do. And it doesn't ultimately matter. And the first thing that people do when they use it is they'll mock you for not using a webcam. Or, you'll have someone in fucking Australia telling you to be a man and use a webcam when he's literally hiding behind a goddamn planet.
Fucking Australia.
And
don't trust him.
And then they'll say, why aren't you using a webcam like a man? It's like that's an interesting standard for virility, I must admit. But at the same time, then they'll say, oh, he's a millennial. Oh, look at him. He's got such and such feature. Look at him. He's got such and such appearance. Or look at that background or that shirt he's wearing. Instantly, every time, without fail. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
See, that's the beautiful thing about having a completely inoffensive avatar / quotation marks is because it's because as the word says, it's inoffensive. There's nothing that you can kind of discredit the argument about because it's just
some people. He's gone out of his way to even do that. He mocked me for using a dog avatar, and then he said, which he didn't even draw, by the way. It's like that. You got me. I didn't draw my own avatar.
At that point, they're only there to find a reason to hate your content. Like they're trying really hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a great video game and movie critique guy here on YouTube, Mahler, and he made like a 3-part, 5-ish hour long critique of The Last Jedi because everything in that movie is just shit, basically. And what is one of the big criticisms he gets? You spent that video so long. It's like, you're just nitpicking. Your videos are way too long. It's like, that means you won. If that's what they use, that's one. That makes them look petty.
You provided too much information. You elaborated too much. I like hip-fire reactions that have no like thought put into them. Stupid.
Yeah, you talked about both the small things and the big things about the movie. Well, that's just nitpicking.
Why couldn't you just give me a digit out of 10? That would really satisfy me.
I mean, he literally has comments that say, "Why didn't you just say you didn't like it?" Because that's not very helpful, is it? That's not very helpful. I didn't like the movie. Okay. I hate everything does an abortion of a video on The Last Jedi. And you hear, people just want to be negative. People just want to be haters. People just want to follow the meme. And then he'll make a video on why Destiny 2 is so shit, like a huge hypocrite. And it's... People need to... I don't know. I wish people would focus on the important stuff. That's ultimately why an avatar is such a great idea. You know, it's fun to look at, and you want to drive people towards... You want them to focus on something substantive. And even then, they'll try to go around it, do exactly what you don't want them to do because it's pointless and it's a waste of time.
It has the added benefit, too, is that every time someone says your username, so Rax, the first thing they think of is dog with glasses. You know what I mean? Like, it's very... Exactly. It really, like, burns like into your retina. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. It's like when people think of me, they see this fucking green, like, raptor-looking puppet thing wagging around doing the hand-pointy thing. That's what they think of me, right? Or my asshole. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the asshole tangent, I guess we'll go on to Twitter. There's a lot of assholes on there. You said that you were suspended. You want to kind of, like, touch that a little bit? Give it a little sprinkle as to how that went down?
A bunch of very brave people decided that what they would do to fight back against me. Because I'm literally too... here's the problem. I'm too egalitarian for Twitter. So they'll take things out of context and they'll just mass report stuff. And then Twitter, and it was only a matter of time before I'm gone from Twitter. I don't have the right opinions. I'm too much of a liberalisty type. I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not a racist in the right direction. So they were always looking for a reason to get rid of me. It's obvious. You know you're on the shit list for Twitter. It's obvious. And then this was the reason, so they suspended my account. I'll just keep appealing it every once in a while. You never know, I might get lucky. But it's no big deal. I've got a Discord set up. Here I'm about to make public, doing my Patreon rewards to get, special roles in that. The community tab for YouTube that they put in has been giving me better reception than Twitter ever has, basically.
Oh yeah, YouTube's way bigger than Twitter. Like, if you're already established on there, fuck Twitter. Twitter's mostly like if you're trying to get a foothold somewhere,
It's for shit posting. Twitter's for just like, hey, and I'm not sad for myself at all. It's like, it's Twitter. What I'm kind of upset is that people didn't like me, so they have this authoritarian mindset that tells them, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to deny 33,000 Twitter followers the privilege of following Rags on Twitter. Because we don't like him, no one else should be able to. Yeah, it's like,
I have full power to ignore this content, but I'm going to make sure that no one enjoys it. No one.
All you have to do is block me, mute me, move along.
Don't read,
But, no, you've got to go out of your way to make sure other people can't enjoy me because you're that much of a fucking asshole. And it makes you look weak and pathetic.
It's the coward's way out. Yeah, like they would never approach you in any kind of real life setting. Like, a lot of people tell me, it's like, oh, Jason, aren't you afraid of going to X convention or going to this public event? It's like, fuck no. The people that talk shit online have the smallest micro dick possible. They would not even make eye contact with you, let alone confront you in real life.
Yeah, I mean, people like have said that to me. They're like, this one Australian guy really hates me. And he said, I'll talk to him, but it has to be one-on-one. He has to use a webcam. There can't be a live audience. And like,
yeah, so you don't want scrutiny. Okay, you don't want to be fucking shamed for having a shit opinion. Yeah, that's why they want fucking that.
Yeah, they're cowards.
Yeah.
And when you talk about stuff on the internet, cowardice is different than in real life, obviously. Normally it's things that it's stuff like going behind people's back and trying to use the system against them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to try and stab their account. You have to get them flagged or reported. You have to kind of cripple them in that way. Something that's just something that a coward would do. It has nothing to do with the merit of your argument versus theirs. It makes you look really petty normally, because obviously I get reported all the time because some people just hate my guts. But it makes you look horrible. And when you go online and do things like make videos patting yourself on the back that I reported Rags' Twitter, you look awful.
Yeah.
That's a really bad look for you.
And plus, on top of that, like, if you can't even handle a counter argument of any form, like no counter opinion, you have to shut that completely down and only parrot your own. That means you have no confidence in it. Like, if you could actually stand behind that stance, you'd allow it back and forth. So when you just mute, block, take them down, and then say something about this person and they can't defend themselves, you're a piece of shit.
That's why when I engage with people, I do a lot of response videos. I like them. They're great for they have a structure built into them that you can follow, because what's the hardest part of writing a book? The beginning. What's the hardest part of making a video? The beginning. It's always the beginning. Trying to find, where do you start? Where do you how do you go along? Where's the structure? With a response video, you're building onto a structure that already exists. You take it point by point, and I always put the sources in the description to protect myself and the people that I'm responding to from people saying it's being taken out of context, for instance. And I'm really popular on YouTube. This grew into something I never thought it would. People see my ideas versus theirs, and they don't side with them. People, when you put my ideas next to them, they don't go to them. They support me. They support what I say. They think that I'm the better, the more logical, the more reasoning person. I'll put my ideas next to theirs. I do it all the time.
You're not the one having a knee-jerk reaction. You're actually, like, sitting there for a solid hour and, like, exploring all
I'm not the one
avenues.
trying to go behind your back and trying to take your channel down because that's all I can do. That's the only effective weapon that I have in my arsenal. I can actually stand up for what I believe and what I think.
Yeah.
And they can't. A lot of them can't. And maybe it's in desperation. Normally, I would assume that it's in malice when people come out and they make slanderous accusations about being a fraud, about buying subs, about view botting, all this stuff. When they lie about, hey, he was fired from his job, or he's a shitheel Nazi, or some weird stuff like that. They're just throwing shit out.
The last time I had Twitter drama, literally it took 5 hours to be referenced to Hitler and Trump. It's like, you're literally the worst person in the world because you had an opinion on this, and you shouldn't form opinions on the internet because people get offended. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you go on, because while I took about like a month off, I quit my job, I set some stuff up, just kind of took a little bit of a break, got used to the new schedule of not having this schedule. And man, I went on like 5 podcasts while I was taking this break, because it's just me talking to some people. It's not like it's work, really.
It's still content, so like, you're still making, you're
doing
something.
Stuff. Yeah, it wasn't on my channel. It was on other people's channels. I went on like Andy Worski a few times, Tonkasaw's Kumite. I went on a few other little podcasts and things. And, I would take these very blatant anti-Nazi, anti-alt-right positions, and in front of tens of thousands, if not more people. But it doesn't matter. No, you're still a Nazi. Because you're still some alt-right, whatever.
Yeah, they're not paying attention to any of that. What they're doing is they're trying to look at one statement, you make one comment, and then break it down into the most evil, like, vitriol thing they can do.
It's just, they just want to assign a label to you. In place of an argument, they're going to label you as something bad. That's why I don't care if people say, hey, he's a furry. He's like, okay, well, I don't, whatever. Some of it's not, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah, like, I get pissed off when people just assume that whole, like, furry thing is a bad thing. Yes, you do have some people that just want to fuck around and they enter the community purely for that reason, because it's easier to hook up. But that doesn't define all the artists or the content creators.
I wouldn't even say that's a bad thing, really. I mean, if that's what you want, I don't think you're less of a person because you just want to get in and, I don't know, get rocks off or whatever. But, there's a huge, and undeniable, as you know, sexual component to the furry community. But just like every communities, it's not in malice. It's just, I mean, what? It's like that's what they're into. That's what I'm into. That's what she's into. He's into. That's fine. I mean, I try not. I really avoid trying to make fun of people for what they find, what their fetish is, because none of us have room to talk. It's just a matter of how honest we're going to be with ourselves.
That's literally what I was about to say. Like, I feel like that is what any community has. It's just what level of transparency that community has. The furry community is very transparent about the sexual content and stuff, and say something more like, I don't know, like the YouTube or Newgrounds or 4chan or any kind of subgroup with some kind of content creation. They're a little bit more reserved about it. They like to pocket to the side and try to take that away from the PR aspect, but I don't think furries really give a shit. We're just kind of appealing that way.
When they put it out so obviously and blatantly, all you would be doing is telling them something they already know, something that's undeniable anyway. And it's just not hurting anybody.
Yeah,
that's fine. If that's what they like, if that's what I like, if that's what he likes, she likes, it's fine.
Yeah, like the whole point of furry conventions and all that in the first place is expression, right? So like, if you're going to this place to express yourself, obviously you're gonna say, yeah, I might be a sexual person, like fucking deal with it, suck my dick.
I'm a really sexual person. That's just, I've got a really big libido, and so, that's come through in my videos a lot. It's not just me being an edgy shitheel Nazi or whatever. It's like that's just how I think all the time. I'm that way. So it kind of when you pair that with the fact that I use a dog avatar, and I'm bisexual, people, I can see 100% why I've drawn such a huge furry audience. It appeals to them even on the superficial level. It's very appealing to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's like listening to somebody, but their voice is so terrible and grating, you just can't stick with them. It's the same thing. If you see somebody who's got a good voice and you like the avatar they use, if you can connect with them in that kind of way, then yeah, go for it. It certainly helped me out. I think it's definitely been more of a help than a hindrance.
Yeah, like our friend recently switched on his Twitch from webcam stuff to a puppet, like a dog puppet, and I'm sure you're aware who it is. So it's Roxy. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't watch Twitch.
Yeah.
Even him.
Anyway,
sorry, but I don't.
As soon as he made that switch, it doubled his viewership because he was
you
just.
could look at a guy's face any day.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about that. I know you're a unique snowflake and you look magical, but it's not very. So is everybody,
It's fucking boring, is what it is. Like you just make like the mental scenario. You're scrolling through Twitch or whatever or YouTube. You see like the active thumbnails of people playing games, talking, entertaining, and then you see this one out of 100 that's actually doing something different. It's like, oh, click. You know what I mean? That's how you get viewers. You actually try to stand out from the crowd of just monotony.
Instantly, it's instant. There's a marketing aspect of it. If you want to be purely utilitarian and think about it pragmatically, it's just pure good PR and marketing. People see it. I mean, look at the popularity of Disney shows and not like Disney Channel stuff, like Disney movies and DreamWorks. Cartoons. It's interesting. It's interesting to look at. It's this romanticized, stylistic representation of things, and people have always been drawn to that. And there's nothing wrong with using it. It makes you. It's one of the most vapid and pointless things to insult about somebody that they use an avatar. That it's almost like when you hear it and your brain just shuts off. It's like, why even keep talking to this person? It's like you made a video. It's 44 minutes long. So it's like, first off, I worked way longer than 44 minutes on a 44-minute video, right? And it was fun to do. So if you're just going to say, oh, he made a video of such and such length about me, I would be worried that he was able to generate that much content based on what I said.
I'd love to hear them, or even make an effort to make something of similar quality. You know what I mean? Like, if someone's coming to watch a video that long, and the first gut reaction is, oh, why are they even talking? What right did they have? I need to judge them purely cosmetically.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like long content, and that's fine. That's fair enough. I understand why. Sometimes things drag on a bit. But I think it's very telling that I've been able to make a substantial level of growth with videos that are almost exclusively very, very long. I have definitely longer than average video. Length is one of my specialities, you see. People like that. People, for the most part, have told me that they like the longer form stuff. I certainly do. I just kind of made content that I like to watch. I like longer stuff.
Yeah, like it's not the kind of content you slap on when you're on a bus and you're just going down the street for 10 minutes on your phone. It's the kind of content you slap on when you're like working and you want a podcast in the background, some kind of like voice. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I like long stuff because I can do that. I can go to my second monitor and I can put it up, and I can listen to it. It's because I'm a multitasker. I got a short attention span. I got to be doing something. Something's got to be going on. So when I'm playing a game, while I'm playing a video game, I will be listening to a podcast or a lecture, the great courses, or a response by somebody that I like or am interested in. And a lot of people tell me they just listen to my videos instead of watching them. Which is fair enough. I understand that 100%. And then somebody who doesn't like my guts decides to make a 44-minute video, but it's literally just him sitting down, staring at a webcam, talking in one long cut, one take, 44 and a half minutes long. And it's like, I watched it because it was about me and because it was fucking awful. It was hilarious. It was like, it was cringy, but in like, you can't look away kind of cringe, like a spirit science video. Like getting all the jabs in. It was just, you couldn't look away. It was so bad.
I tried watching a 24-minute video of someone attacking a tweet that I made because they noticed that like it was getting a lot of attention, right? So they want to jump on that bandwagon because it's funny. They say like, oh, Jasonafex tweet, immediately followed, oh, check out my Patreon. Anyway, I tried to watch the video, same kind of deal, it's just a guy in front of a webcam. I try and advance the timeline a bit to see where the actual point is. I could never find it. Because he's just rattling on about nothing. He's rattling on about 20 words in a tweet. So he's really
people do that
pushing
too.
it.
They'll attack Patreon. Like you're just shilling your Patreon. It's like, yeah, I want people to know that I have a Patreon, so that they're aware of its existence. Because if they don't know if it's there, they definitely won't donate.
Well, that, and you can't make free content forever. You'll literally stop if you do
It's
that
like,
because you still need to like pay your rent,
eat. Yeah, it's like I have to eat the food, and I have to have a place to stay, and I have to pay for internet and all that stuff. And if you want to enjoy my content for free, you can do that. In fact, most people probably do. So if you don't want to pay, you don't have to. I'm not making you. I'm not restricting you from anything if you don't want to pay me anything. But I mean, if you want to throw me $1 a month on Patreon, that's way better than having ads on, you know? And that's what I do, is like I use ad block. I don't blame anyone else for doing it, and I throw people money on Patreon if I like their stuff. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I mean, I've got to make money.
Like the people that make content on these platforms are very likely to put money back into the platform. So like supporting them is only going to boost the whole economy for like sending money on Patreon to us, the furries, will just. We buy so many furry things. We buy stock. We commission all the time. We do the same thing. We support other patrons. So it's just kind of.
I buy stock in furries. What's the price of furry
I have
stock?
multiple shares in furries. It's like Bitcoin. It's going to take off any day. Then.
My highs. It's like, how do you? It's one of these weird arguments that you wonder what they're thinking when they make it. And especially because at the end of a video, you know, you'll get to the 40-minute mark in a video, and then at the very end, they'll say Patreon this, you know. Yeah, you got 40 minutes of free content for a quasi-commercial about if you want to support me because I'm making this stuff, you can throw me something if you'd like. Voluntarily, you don't even have to. And if you don't have to feel bad about it. It's just for those of you who want to do. And that's what they'll attack. They'll go after that. Like they expect me to just have a place to stay and have toys and have goodies and gadgets, and that this stuff just, I guess people expect content to just be created out of nowhere. It's like, how does Dave Rubin, how does he afford the studio and the setup and to fly these people in and to bring him in person to see him? It's because people give him money. He's got to have that stuff. Like if I didn't have any money, it's a time thing too. I quit my job because it started to infringe way too heavily on what I enjoy doing more, which is this. So I quit my job, and now I'm doing this full time, at least starting out. And I still have to make money. Like, you understand that, right? If I don't have that, it all shuts down. I'm not being greedy. I like money. It's
just the real world, yeah. Like, it's a very naive outlook to assume that all content is expendable, and if you just tell someone to like make something for free, that someone will replace them. If you starve all your creators, you just won't have any anymore. You know what I mean? They'll stop.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's work. I mean, yes, you might sit down and the video might be 35 minutes long, but how long it takes for me to make that 35 minutes, and I can probably do it way quicker than somebody who, say, I mean, look at people like how much editing goes into a PewDiePie video, how much editing goes into this podcast right here, and the work that'll have to be done to shape it all up. Like, it takes so much longer to put that ultimate half an hour together, that hour together, that a lot of people don't know how much goes into it until they try it for themselves.
Yeah, like
and then
people's
they
first
see-
reaction to like benign content, in their opinion, benign. Let's say, like, let's think of like Let's Players like the Game Grumps or something. They have an editor. They've cycled through many editors. Like you need to edit that shit. PewDiePie has a personal editor. Basically any
It's
big
work.
name, yeah, just has an editor now because it starts off as passion. You edit it all yourself, but then the editing takes more time than the actual content. You need to start considering your scripts and like all that. Becomes very taxing. So then you turn from an individual into a business. You're still the face of the channel, but it's technically a business at that point.
Yeah, you're still one person, and there's only 24 hours in the day, and you have to live a life. I mean, it's a job. It is a job. You devote time to it. You work on it. And there are times when you don't want to do it, but you're like, yeah, I'll do a little bit because I need to.
I need to eat today. I need to wipe my ass with actual toilet paper. So I need to make a video and then pay for those things.
And again, a lot of people can sit down in their tank tops in front of a webcam from God knows where, planet Earth, and they can prattle on in a single take without a script, without any editing, without any bells or whistles, and they could just upload that shit to YouTube in 30 minutes without any level of effort, just the lowest level content possible. And then they wonder, why would anyone make a 45-minute video about me? Why would anyone have an avatar? Why would anyone do all this stuff? It's like, because you don't give a shit, and that doesn't mean other people don't.
The worst thing is when they do that and they go, why am I not getting views? Why am I not taking off like this person? They don't like...
Yeah. It's like all of my detractors are these little bitty channels who never get growth. Like, I took a screenshot of someone the other day. It's like, it's interesting that you had this video up for 39 minutes and you have no views. None. No views after 40 minutes. It's like, what do you... No one wants to listen to you. And I distinguish that from the argument from popularity, right? I'm not right because I'm more popular than you and people like me more. I'm saying that there's a reason that people want to watch me and the things that I say, and they connect with what I say and do. And there's a reason that people go to your channel and then they do an immediate about face and wouldn't give you the time of day. And a lot of these guys, they want your time, and they think that they are almost expected to have it. Like, if I make a response to somebody, they feel like I owe them personal conversations and my exclusive attention.
Which becomes like
No.
borderline impossible after a certain threshold. Like the average human being.
Plus you're just boring and uninteresting, and I have no interest with talking to some disingenuous fat piece of shit who can sit in front of a webcam and slander me, try to make all these accusations and character assassinations, and to take the most disingenuous, dishonest positions possible against me. Like, why would I want to talk to you? What would I, other than maybe some lulz for an audience, why would I ever want to talk to you? Some idiots think, oh, you're just afraid to talk to him. I was like, yeah, totally. I'm totally afraid. Like, no, I was like, I would rather be doing anything else. And why would I want to talk to these people?
And the sad reality is, if you actually do humor them and like get into a Discord with the person, they usually do the exact same tactics that they originally got mad at. They'll pick out your replies, like rearrange it.
Oh, that's what people... I've got this one guy
paraphrase.
who's made like 6 videos on me in the last 2 days. And that's all he does is he finds little clips, and people in the comments are saying, this is making Rags look better. Stop. He's like, you're taking this out of context, and it's still making Rags look better than you. You need to stop. This is ridiculous. He is living inside of your head, rent-free, and it is... you can say that it bothers Rags. Rags has not made 9 videos about somebody. You need to... This is a bad look for you. Like, you uploaded 4 videos of me in 2 hours. You need to chill. I've clearly gotten to your head. You do you, of course, but no one's gonna... No, it's like, look at the views you get. Look at the reception. Look at the reception that you get. Read your comments. They're ridiculous. Get a hint. You need to try something different. You need to go and read a book. You find out how responses and reason works. Find out how to argue with people. Watch some debates and soak that up.
What do you think is going through these people's heads when they see an argument that they don't agree with and they feel like it can't exist? They need to go do everything in their power to shut it down. Like, what do you think is their thought process there? Like, how do you go from nothing and then make so many videos, like invest so many hours, like just rattle on for hours on end to like your immediate support group about how terrible this is? You know, like...
Now, I don't want to play armchair psychologist here, but since you're asking, well, then I can say anything I want. I mean, if I'm being forced into an answer, then I think it all comes down to emotional immaturity. That's what I think.
I agree. I think that's the same thing.
You see the passion in their eyes when it's all heart and no brain, when it's all flash, no substance. They see something, and for whatever reason, they're very upset that this Rags guy, who they know basically nothing about, is maybe they're jealous of how successful I am. They're jealous of the audience I have, the reach and the influence that I have. And they want to, I don't know, if I can't have it, maybe nobody can have it. So you'll have these channels who have 550 videos, less than 1,000 subs, who put all this work and effort into something that nobody gives a shit about. And they're upset that I can just sit down and make a response video, and people love it. People love the arguments I'm making. They can connect with it. And I think because they emotionally attach themselves to things that don't have anything to do with them. Look at the way I Hate Everything. He did that with The Last Jedi. A lot of people are doing that with Star Wars now. I did a podcast about The Last Jedi with Mahler and his buddies Fortism and Smiler Al, and we just talked about how awful Star Wars is now. And a lot of the times when you find these videos who are made in defense of Star Wars, especially The Last Jedi in particular, people attach themselves emotionally to things that they have that are nothing to do with them, and that's not necessarily bad. You can be passionate about something, you can have a fan about something, or you can be a fan about something, but if somebody insults something that you like and you take that as a personal insult against you, you need to hold your horses and you need to examine the kind of attachment that you have to that thing.
Yeah, it turns into like, oh, you can't attack Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars, so now you're attacking me as a person, and I can't allow that to any extent. And I'm
3 1/4 years old now, and so I grew up with the prequels, and I was a kid, so I'm a dumb kid. I think they're great and excellent, but they've actually aged kind of well. They've kind of been like, they're all memey and fun now. And then, but that took, 10 years to really start to happen. The Last Jedi, it's been, 2.5 months, and it's awful. And more than half the people who see it hate it. Like, do you think time is going to be kind to them? Do you think time is going to be kind to The Last Jedi? It's like, no.
I think the thing that Star Wars as a whole, as a series, needs more of is camp. Like, the original 3 were a little campy, like they were a little silly.
A little bit, but they were... It was, a lot of it was because it was forced by things like the budget, It's like, it's one guy who back in 77, when A New Hope was released, you look at that movie, and it was just this scrapped together passion project, because at the time, George Lucas was rebelling against the system, man, And then slowly but surely, he became the corporate monster that he once wanted to fight and rebel against. And they have so much heart. And a lot of that is because he didn't have money.
Yeah, and it was the first of its kind too. Like, I think he took inspiration from like Japanese samurai movies, and then combined that with obviously like galactical kind of like fantasy, and that was just a sweet spot that no one has ever seen before. Made the whole thing blow up.
And it was like a watershed moment for cinema, because I mean, look at all of the science fiction space adventures that came out trying to chase that Star Wars money, man. And not necessarily bad. A lot of people were inspired by it. A lot of people wanted to cash in on it. Either way, Star Wars and its success, it became a cultural icon that exists to this day. But there's a reason that we look at the original trilogies and see them as these amazing films with these arcs and lovable characters that had this passion to them. And then we look at the prequels and we look at the current quels, and they're different. They're not the same.
I feel, if anything, the new ones coming out are too similar to the original 3. Like, I get what they're going for. The prequels were too much of a step away from what they were used to. They were scary. Things are different, changed. I don't like change. So they brought back all the original cast.
It's because they forgot. They forgot what made the original trilogies great, which was characters and their development.
The hero's journey and shit like that, yeah. Like, there was a big study on the hero's journey with Luke. He's like the perfect stereotype for that.
Yeah. Luke is the perfect example and has been used so much of the hero's journey from beginning to end. He has struggles, he falters, he succeeds, he grows and develops. And it's not just Luke, it's multiple other characters as well. And then you look at the prequels and you don't get that. And you look at The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and there's basically none of it. And people wonder why people don't like it. It's like you could look, Disney's made out of money. Disney has more money than God. And it doesn't matter. You can make the prettiest, most flashy, lovely thing ever, but at the end of the day, it's 2018, 2017, 2016. It's the current year. Technology is at a point where we expect movies to look amazing. So if your movie looks amazing, you're like, okay, now it's got to be style. It's like Blade Runner is a very stylized movie. It's very unique. It graphically, in terms of the money that was poured into it or the work that was put into it, it looks fine, yeah, sure, but it's not the fidelity of the graphical representations themselves. It's how they're portrayed in a stylized way. Look at Nintendo, for instance. They have these weak consoles that can't compete with Xboxes and PlayStation 4s and PCs, but their games are colorful and they're bright and they're stylized and they're interesting to look at. They have fun pictures and imagery.
Somehow managing to market cardboard and it's working. So they know what they're doing.
People look at Super Mario Galaxy, Odyssey, whichever one came out, and you look at it and it looks fun. Does it look great? I mean, not from a technical standpoint. I mean, it's fine and serviceable in terms of the sheer amount of anti-aliasing and graphical sharpness and blah blah blah. But it's bright and colorful and fun and interesting. It's stylized and it's a joy to behold. It's a great looking spectacle. It's fun. It has this this passion to it. It has this whimsical sort of quality to it. And then you turn on your Xbox One X and you're playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and you're like, well, it looks good, but okay. I've seen this 10,000 times before.
The whole experience is kind of sterile, whereas at least with Nintendo,
very sterile,
I wouldn't buy the products myself because I'm an enthusiast, right? I can see through the gimmicks and I can see that it's a crap console, but from a marketing standpoint, they create this atmosphere of oh, look, it's this sparkly, beautiful, whimsical, fun experience. Let's just sit down, pick it up and play it, right? In any kind of scenario.
You play Call of Duties and Gears of Wars, they just look okay, they look fine, but I've seen this a million times and good job. The gun model looks good. I mean, that's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good that the gun in your hand looks great, but the gun in your hand looks great in countless other games. I could guess what the gun in your hand looked great in Half-Life 2 years and years and years ago. So if you got to do more than that.
Yeah, and we're wise enough to know that these guns won't look good 5 years from now. You know what I mean? So every time they say, best graphics, it's not going to hold. So why get excited?
I mean, I could play Resident Evil 4, and it's almost charming how bad the graphics are. You look at it, and everything that isn't Leon Scott Kennedy's outfit looks pretty garbage, but it's such a fun game, and it's great. It's almost like it's developed a style around how poorly the graphics have aged. It makes the game better in this weird kind of way. You know? Look at Dusk just came out to overwhelmingly positive reception, and it's this game that I mean, on a technical level, it looks like crap. But it's supposed to call back to this age of 90s fast-paced quakey shooters, and people love that. People look at that and it takes them back to another time, or it's not trying to be real, and so they could really immerse themselves in it.
I really,
and that's the thing
really hated that time frame where realism was the champion. It's let's sacrifice all these other elements. Realism. And then and
a lot of the times they shoot for the sun, and they try to look at the prequel Star Wars movies now. A lot of those graphics, right? They look not good right now. Graphics come and go, but some things, the style stays. the ambience of it stays, the immersion of it stays.
Aesthetics.
That stuff, yeah, the aesthetics stay, the graphics age.
I feel like the one thing that Resident Evil 4 had that makes it my favorite game of all time to this day is that it had this level of camp and like originality to its gameplay design. Like I haven't seen a game like that since. With those,
It understood what it is, and that's the problem that a lot of games don't do that. They don't know what they are. So Destiny 2 is one of the most mediocre games I have ever played.
I gave that a genuine try because I didn't play the original Destiny. And think, okay, they've had some time to flesh out the series. Let's give it a try. It's so fucking boring. I'm like, I've played this game before and I haven't even played it before. Like that kind of sensation.
I never played Destiny, the first one. I didn't play the first Destiny.
Neither.
I bought people said I went in wanting to hate it. It's like, no, I spent $60 on this. I don't want to pay money to hate the time that I paid the money for. It's just not a good game at all. It's so mediocre. What does this game want to be? There's nothing interesting about this game. The game is just, I mean, it's functional, but it's not interesting. It's mediocre. And then you play Resident Evil 4, you play Vermintide, you play Devil Daggers, and these games have much smaller budgets, much smaller teams working on them, and they know what they are, and they know what they're trying to be, and they understand that there are limitations to what they can do, and they build their games around that. They don't try to put everything in this universe, a million worlds and all these weapons and stuff. Devil Daggers is a perfect example. I've played that game for like 9 hours. I played Mass Effect Andromeda for about an hour, and I was done, and I have no intention of going back. But this tiny little small-scale game, that's just me on a platform shooting floating skulls with very little depth to it, just a simple, straightforward content with a high skill ceiling, that can keep me more than these huge $40-80 million wannabe AAA titles can.
I feel the best way to describe a game that will take off in the whole genre, like every single gamer will find it appealing. Like PUBG has blown up, right? Like even for people that don't like shooters can enjoy that game. The best way to describe a good game,
I can enjoy it, yeah.
It's when you want to break it down to the simplistics of like what this game is by using 3 other game titles. If you can't do that for a game, then it's a good game. So like for example, Destiny, or it's Halo, it's fucking Borderlands, and some other bullshit fucking FPS, and there you go.
I think some games can mix concepts together really well. PUBG is... I feel like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds it was kind of lightning in a bottle. I don't know if anybody else can recreate it. Fortnite has been able to because PUBG exists and because people want that, and also it's free.
Yeah, Fortnite
really
is just
helps.
creating the PUBG Lite experience for free, and that's why I can't enjoy it. Is because even the base Fortnite before the PUBG kind of spin-off, it was just
it was okay.
Okay, let's take Minecraft and fucking FPS and add a sandbox element. You know what I mean? It's so boring. And then now it's okay, let's take those FPS elements and throw PUBG in there. It's like, I've played this before. You're not going to entice me.
The Fortnite Battle Royale, I think it's pretty shit.
Yeah.
To be frank.
It's really it's not simplified.
It runs great. It looks bright and stylized. You're trying to, I don't know, man. It's trying to, I don't even know. It's like you're using the wrong tool to try and perform a different task. It's just like trying to use a hammer to screw in a screw. It's like we have the platform of Fortnite and what it is, so we're gonna make the rules of a 100-player deathmatch King of the Hill, because basically it's just King of the Hill. The hill's just getting smaller, is all it is.
Yeah, and more players. That's basically it.
Concept. Yeah, and I think that's one of the problems with PUBG. PUBG is I've got like 220 hours in it. I'll play a couple games and then I'll leave. It's a good game in terms of when you look at it at a basic level. It's a lot of the stuff surrounding it, which kind of ruin it. China #1.
Hacking, yeah, that's a sad part. Like its formula was almost on point. It was almost finely tuned. Like I feel like the desert map is a little too big, so there's a lot of games where I run around and I don't get any engagements for half an hour. That's fucking boring.
Yeah, and then at the end you get shot by someone a mile away.
And it's over.
Or you get to the closing and you see a guy and you just lose the fight without one guy.
So games in which you loot for 20 minutes and then you have a 5-second engagement, that's your whole game. That's bad design. Like they need a...
I think, it depends on what you're looking for. If someone tells me they don't like that, so DayZ is a perfect example. DayZ is a game where you spend 95% of your time, 99% of your time walking around, doing nothing, picking up something here and there, trying to scrape together something to defend yourself with. But goddamn that 1%, when everything's on the line and you don't know how many enemies there are, when you get shot at and you don't know where it's from, when you head into the woods running for your life, when you're cornered in a building, that 1% of DayZ is just so intense. It gets your hand shaking that it's like it almost, for so many people, myself for a while, it made that 99% worth it, chasing that incredible high.
Yeah, it's the tension.
And
like,
so,
after an hour
yeah.
of tension, the payoff, it's like a horror movie, right? You willingly go through the slog of shit. Bad acting,
It's
bad
like,
cinematography, just for that jump scare. It's like,
yeah, it's
like a climax,
it's the
right?
video game equivalent of edging yourself.
Yeah, it
when
is.
You jerk
Yeah.
off, basically. Well, no, it isn't, because you enjoy the actual product. That's a terrible example.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about
So
dick.
with PUBG, I've been edging in PUBG and not having a good climax. Like, the climax has been subpar recently.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is that it takes so much time to get to there, and I feel like PUBG would be so much better in terms of design. I don't know if people would go for it, if it'd be more popular, but what if you made smaller maps that are designed for 20 people, you know? What if it was you and 3 other squads? What if it was 10 teams of 2 in a much smaller map? There was only 20 of you, and the map could be fine-tuned around that. No.
I was hyped when the original Desert Map leaks came out, and people were speculating that it was going to be a quarter of the size of the main map. So it's this much smaller map, but there's still 100 players. So you have this very densely populated city. Instead, what we have is you have all these huge cities and giant terrains, and there's no one, not a single person in the whole city. Or what happens
that's why so many
is there's
people
one
drop.
straggler, and you're looting, your brain's completely switched off, and you just get shot because someone was around the corner and they were hiding the whole time.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't play third person. I only play first person, because I ain't no bitch.
yeah.
But you've got one of the problems is that, I mean, that's why at the beginning of every map, people try to drop into the school, right? Or Pachinki. Or at the beginning of Miramar, they all drop at Picado or whatever. Like, everyone goes to these places at the beginning because they just want to do something.
They just want to play the game.
Fight other players. They just want to play the game. And if they die, that's okay. I only invested 2 minutes of my life into getting this fight. I didn't invest 15 minutes to die at the very end by the first guy that I either saw or even didn't see.
Yeah,
and for a lot of people, that trade-off just isn't quite worth it.
And also, as of January, in that big peak there, dropping in high pop to actually play the game, that's where all the hackers go. So now you're in the mindset, okay, now I have to drop to medium pop to avoid the hackers so I can at least play the game once they kind of water down, dilute out, some of them die, you know, so I have a chance.
I hear that the cheating's mostly in the third-person servers.
Yeah.
I haven't had much of a problem with it. Honestly, barely any. But you see all the compilations and everyone talks about it, so I assume that I've just got lucky. The China problem is a problem. Because if I spend 10 fucking minutes walking around doing nothing, picking up backpacks and bullets for a gun that I may or may not find, if I die to some fucker who's got 400 plus ping because China #1, because the game says, yeah, he's in China. He can connect to the server on the other side of the globe. Yeah, it's no problem at all. I mean, it's like, how can I know? I can't. It's at the point where in PUBG, I don't know if my death was legitimate. I don't know if it was, like, did I die because this was some Chinese guy who had 400 ping and he's time traveling, or he killed me behind a wall, or I killed him through something or other. I don't have that faith in the game to match me with people that will give me a fair fight. And ultimately, that's kind of killed my desire to keep playing the game.
It also kind of makes your enemies faceless because there's no social aspect. If you can't even speak the same language, or they only say 3 things and they're lagging, and they're like obviously there to ruin the experience, hacking, they have built this really bad stigma. You just want to play.
99% of hacks come from China.
Yeah, like you just want to play with other people that live in your region, and you can actually talk shit to them and kind of have that back and forth. Play the same way.
I just want to be able to talk with my own squad. I don't care about anything people say you aren't my squad. I don't give a shit. It's pointless. I don't want to mock anybody or get mocked. It's pointless. But first off, why is there not a text chat for your team? Why is that not a thing? I'm legitimately shocked. 2, why do you allow for open mic and then not allow me to mute people? What the fuck? Like, how many Chinese people in internet cafes do I have to listen to until I just get sick of wanting to play with strangers?
Yeah, it's really dumb. Like, if they fix that up, maybe my solution to the gameplay issue that would probably work is start the first circle immediately, so that you can see the ring, you can kind of get an idea of where to land, and then the kind of, at least by 25%, kind of encourage people to fight more.
Once players enter the map in the plane, you know where the circle is. Absolutely. Also, I don't like that there is a huge emphasis on the range aspect. I think like the damage models are pretty good for the game in terms of damage at range and headshots and stuff like that. The problem is you can't win the game without a rifle.
Yeah, and like currently a lot of the rifles shoot so quickly that you can't even see your projectile, so you have to like compensate entirely based on like the tufts of dirt that spud up or like hit impacts.
Yeah, I mean, every game ends with you have to have a rifle. If you win without a rifle, you are the exception. You're not the rule. You have to have some sort of a long-range weapon, even though it's getting smaller and smaller. The circle's getting smaller and smaller. You have to have a long-range weapon and a rifle. And 90% of the time, it's like the zone closes in on just some open area where there's a couple trees for cover, and everyone has these long-range weapons that are shockingly accurate. And I mean, yeah, it's fair. I understand it's fair. I just think that it's not very fun. It's like, how come you can't have all of these engagements that end in this really tiny area that's got a lot of cover in it, where things like submachine guns and shotguns are actually useful?
Yeah, like
not these extremely situational weapons.
65% of the weapon roster is all just early game fodder. Like, you only pick it up because you have to. It's during the option. As soon as you pick it up in AR,
when I look
you
through
always
6
go for
buildings, when I look through 6 buildings and I can't find the weapon that I basically need and the game is designed around for me having in order to win, I get kind of frustrated. You know, it's like, oh look, the 5th shotgun, the 5th pistol I found. Awesome, that's great. Esports ready.
Or you'll be that guy that finds like the only suppressor in the map. It's like, well, I win by default, you know?
Yeah, well, I win. Yeah, it was like the best games I've ever done is like, I got a suppressor. I got a suppressor and a scope on my rifle, so haha. Sucks to be you, loser. You just found things that the game gave you. How unfortunate for you. And I don't mind a little bit of randomness in the game, but if I find a submachine gun, I'm thinking, well, let me just play the map and try and do my best to work with my weapons limitations, and that's a possible thing to do. It's like, no, because the circle is going to close in on this hillside where your engagement's going to be at 80, 100 meters, and your submachine gun is worthless, and if you didn't find the right rifle and the right attachments for it, you're at a huge monumental disadvantage.
It's kind of backwards design too, because since these ARs are designed for long distance engagements, they're actually really fucking good at close range because their spread is so tight.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if you look up the damage, the fire rate, the recoil sheets for all the guns, SMGs are arguably worse in all categories, even close. The only one that beats that is the SMG because the fire rate's so high, it kind of beats other stuff, but only at like 100 meters. Like the very basic SMG.
I mean, when you talk about, I use the UMP because it has accuracy to it, and it's the only SMG I'll pick up. In fact, is the UMP. I might use the Toms, maybe, but really the only SMG I'll even touch is the UMP, just because it's accurate enough to keep things at target. It's the only viable weapon, the one that could even have a hope of really fighting against someone with an assault rifle. Because what's the downside of the assault rifle?
No.
What is the negative aspect of the assault rifle?
Fucking nothing.
Nothing. There's no reason to not always have one every single game. There's no sacrifice to be made. You drop anything for the assault rifle. It's too good. Close quarters, assault rifle. Long range, assault rifle.
Medium
Close range, assault rifle. Medium range, assault rifle.
I even pick up the AK as a replacement for SMGs because it's like, oh, the random spread will give me a headshot and they just down. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just turn a corner and spray with an AK rather than use an SMG?
I mean, why would you ever have? It's like, oh, you think a MAC-10 is like really controllable because it uses little caliber and it has at least at close range. Like, no, it's useless. It's worthless. The Thompson, good luck because of the accuracy on it and the range on it. It's like, good luck. It's rifle beats everything basically. I mean, and what about the Car 98? Yeah, obviously this is the rule. I wish that these maps were, and one of the problems was they took away weather.
I miss weather.
They updated
that was
the
the
game
only way
they
that
updated the game to remove content.
Yeah,
we took away things in this latest update, guys.
That fog map literally gave us a gameplay experience that wasn't long distance. It's like, oh, finally, now I can use shotguns, now I can use SMGs. I can actually play different.
Yeah, best games I ever played. I only played about 3 of them, but I remember them to this day because Fog was interesting. It was tense. It got you close to enemies. It wasn't all about long-range scoping with your assault rifles. It was about watching what your profile was, staying off the tops of hills, moving slowly.
Sound,
Yeah, using sound to your advantage, listening to where people were shooting from. It was about being, showing discretion. And the rain was, to a degree, the rain did that as well because it covered up the sounds of footsteps. It kind of gave attackers more of an advantage to be mobile.
I love the rain map because it took away the whole sound element, so you couldn't just like hear people coming to your house and just blast them. It kind of covers the profile of your shots a bit better, so you can like kind of play differently.
But I guess people just, I guess all the streamers who played that game needed to have their big long-range kill compilations and things. I guess people just didn't want to play in a game where the most perfect possible, clear as day vision would be the norm. I guess people just didn't want that. People didn't want anything interesting. They never wanted to change their tactics. Every game was the exact same, and they were just doing it over and over and over again. And to hell with character, to hell with individuality,
to hell with variety,
with variety. No, every single game was the same. Find assault rifle with a scope and be the one to win. No change, no deviation. Every game was basically the same. And it's a shame too. You go to Miramar as the map. Hell, both of the maps. There are some really cool ass places where you think, man, it would be cool as shit if there was a firefight.
Yeah, if there was actually people here.
But there's never ever gonna be a fight over here.
My dream scenario for PUBG is you take one of those dense desert maps with all the buildings and the broken down pillars and stuff, and just flood it with players. So, oh man, this flank and this flank, oh that window, oh fuck, oh things going on, but instead it's like, all right, I'm just gonna leave for 20 minutes.
It's like, what if you took one of these bigger city areas, and it was like, okay, 20 people, you get random, you get dropped into the map, 20 people, go.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of makes
You're not chasing 95 other people across this massive island, and all of the fights are going to end up in 5 places. And you memorize the map because why would you ever go over here? Why does the game... You don't have to have random endpoints. What you could do is you could say, we have all of these endpoints designed to go to these areas. It's basically random because of how many we have, but they're not just going to go into the middle of an open field or trees on a hill for the 9th time out of 10.
Right. It makes me think of any other game that isn't based on like the King of the Hill formula. Imagine it's like playing TF2 or something. You fire up a payload map like Dust Bowl, whatever. Sorry, Gold Rush, and you just play on your own for 15 minutes, waiting for the server to populate. That's what it's like in PUBG half the time. You're just waiting for the gameplay. So, oh boy, I sure do hope there's some players over here. Oh, guess not. Keep looting. Oh, I got shot in the back of the head. Try again.
I can jump into Overwatch. I can jump into Dirty Bomb. I could jump into all these other games, and almost all of my playtime will be me fighting other players and improving and getting better. So it's hard to say no to that. Or you could play in PUBG where only 10% of your time, and that's being very generous.
That's generous as fuck.
So it'd be 5%, 3% of your playtime is actually you worrying about other players.
I think that's actually why it's taken off, is because it's perfect for Twitch. It has this great downtime to talk to your talk to your stream, fucking go AFK, interact, and then you finally have these nuggets. They turn into your highlights, they turn into your clips, right? So you have this big clip thing of all these amazing highlights, but actually the experience over the 5 hours that you stream, it's only 4 moments at best.
Yeah, people who make DayZ kill compilations, how many hours do you have to sink into that game to get kill compilations in DayZ? I understand how much it's, or I could jump in Dirty Bomb or Overwatch or Call of Duty or Battlefield and bam, I can have a montage of really cool things that are interesting to watch and exciting after a couple games. It's all about what people are chasing for. It's all about what people want, and some people really, really want PUBG. And I got 220 hours in it. It's there's parts of it that I like. It's a well put together shooter at its most basic core. It's just that the design elements of it don't really have me coming back for it anymore. I've kind of burnt myself out.
Yeah,
it's I can't play without friends now.
I think what you're describing is the honeymoon period, and there's that kind of phase for a couple of months or 3 months or so where you're in love with the game, but then you immediately fall off. That's when the honeymoon period ends, basically, and then just turns into another game.
And good luck getting me to play much else. And after Vermintide 2 comes out, after all that stuff gets released. Like, this game is like, this looks like a game full of passion that was based on a game that I know had a lot of work put into it. Like, good luck having me go play PUBG.
I would say my current honeymoon period is definitely Divinity. Divinity 2, what's it called? Fucking, how do you finish that?
Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, it's a fucking amazing game. Holy shit. So refreshing to finally play another, turn-based. And it's not only turn-based, it's fucking multiplayer. A multiplayer turn-based game that is actually fun and doesn't make you fall asleep. Holy shit.
And it's so strange because there's so much that happens in that game that's out of combat, and you're still all over it.
Still engaged.
Because it's interesting.
Like, I think something that they did really, really well was that when turn-based starts, you're not committed. You can join that fight anytime you want. You can continue to fucking do your own fight or keep talking to NPCs. NPCs come up to your character and they talk to just you. It doesn't interrupt anyone else's experience. Your character actually communicates with the other players. It's so, like, they understand that the player doesn't want to fall asleep. They want to be engaged, every single one of them. And it does that really well considering the gameplay.
It gives you a lot of freedom, and the mods with it are really good. I've got my regular file, I've got a mod file, and man, mods do a lot to, quality of life improvements a lot of the time, but just to switch it up, to auto balance enemy levels, to add, it's like, by the way, all the enemy abilities are now spellbooks that you can use. It's like, hell yeah, now this, oh shit, this is amazing. Rebalancing of this and that, making things more viable you didn't like before.
New classes.
Man, yeah, new classes. I mean, it was legitimate, like, game of the year material. I mean, last year for 2017, if I had to pick a game of the year, I was kind of tied between Divinity Original Sin 2 and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and they're both just amazing. It's hard to, I mean, neither of those were AAA games. Neither of them. One of them was, I think they were both indie games.
Yeah, Divinity was Kickstarted, I believe, or Patreon, something like that.
Yeah, Larian Studios.
And like, I saw the opening cinematic. It was like done in that painterly style. Obviously, they had a budget. It's like, oh, like, hopefully this is a good game. Holy shit, this is better than AAA. Holy fuck me. It's like, why aren't there more games like this? I hope they fucking make bank on Steam. I hope that we get more of this game. This is fucking great.
Yeah, I was like, great, another third-person action game with stealth elements and very light RPG-ness. Is like that. Those games can be good. Those games can be good. Look at Splinter Cell Blacklist and Dishonored 1 and 2. Look at Evil Within 2. It's like some of them are pretty good to decent. A lot of them are just like, okay. I've played this game 12 times over the past 5 months. I'm not. Give me something else. Give me something interesting about it.
Do a new take on the genre, and that's what it did. And it's like,
yeah,
did it so well.
Like, give me a good stealth game, with some supernatural stuff in it, like Dishonored. Give me an extremely interesting world, like Hellblade. Give me characters that I can connect with, that are exciting, that I want to learn about. Give me an interesting world that's full of cool lore and stuff to explore. So many games are just like Destiny 2. It's like, why play this game? What does this game give me?
It just feels like Halo and Overwatch slammed together. You just shoot things until you build your ult, press your ult, kill things, so there's no real threat. Die, you just get revived immediately. Who gives a shit? Just keep playing until you get
holy shit, if you actually die, I don't even know what happened to you if you managed to die in that game. It's like, what happened? Wow, you died in Destiny 2? That's shocking.
Well, it's not only that. It literally says, like, it has, like, these specific zones, so it's like, oh, if you die here, there's an actual punishment. They happen 10% of the time. It's like, I still don't feel threatened because this...
It's like the no respawn zone. It's like, you respawn. It just takes long.
It just takes an extra 20 seconds to get back.
It's like, oh, okay. That's harrowing.
And it doesn't make the enemies respawn. They stay dead. So it's just like, oh, I'll just keep throwing my body at them and they'll die.
And plus, enemies in Destiny 2 are retarded.
It's insulting.
They exist to be destroyed. Yeah. They're just walking around so that you can shoot them and feel good because you put the enemy in the center of the screen and you click the button that made the pew pew happen and you won the game. Good job. Here's your shoulder pads, faggot.
I think the best games are the ones where while you're playing, you're passively thinking about something. So like the reason I can keep playing Resident Evil 4 is like, oh man, what build am I gonna do this time? I'm gonna use this gun. When am I gonna upgrade it?
What ammo?
Yeah.
How do I? And plus, a lot of it is challenges we set for ourselves. Games like Resident Evil 4, where you're like, man, how good can I do? How good can I be? You look at every little fighting scenario and you try to like min-max it in your head, where you're like, what is the most efficient way I could possibly do this fight? And you push yourself to doing that. You know, how good can I get at this game?
And then you see certain guns in
Destiny
a game
2,
where
you're-
it's like the stock shotgun upgrade, where you get the final little upgrade, it turns into a sniper rifle. It's like, oh man, what if I play the game like that next time? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many avenues to have fun. And then Divinity 2, like you said, Destiny 2, sorry, it's just like...
It's like, what characters can I try now? You know, it's like, what kind of build can I make? What kind of characters can I put? What kind of combinations of a party can I put together to try and get through this game? You know, when I go to, like, Vermintide, for instance, is a game where, yeah, it's got loot and it's got a little bit of building your character. Yeah, sure, fine, fair enough. But really, what keeps me going back is how good and efficient can I get at this game? How the skill ceiling is so high. How much can I play this game and get good at crowd controlling and not taking damage and being efficient with my shots and my swings? That's what gets me coming back, because I feel like I can get better and better, and it's satisfying when I do it because it took input from me. I had to really practice and I had to really push myself, and as a result, I was able to get the satisfaction of being good.
Yeah, like that. I know a lot of people try and parade that certain games have bad tutorials if they don't have one. Like Destiny 2's tutorial, I believe, takes 20 minutes. Whereas if you go into Divinity or Vermintide, you're just thrown into it with a giant skill wall right in front of you that you have to climb immediately if you want to get anywhere. I prefer those kind of games because it pushes you to think. I don't want to be, like, asleep at the wheel. I was asleep at the wheel of Destiny 100% because, like, it was telling me how to walk forward and shit. It's like, come on, man.
It's boring. It's boring. It was a chore because nothing was threatening. It was extremely easy. Nothing was exciting. There was nothing interesting that you could do. It was just a lot of the guns. Though they were functional, they were very. I mean, they felt good, I guess. I mean, they shot where you pointed them, but they were boring. They didn't give you good feedback. They're lame. You didn't feel excited. You didn't get good. It was just boring.
You're on a leash too. Like, if you intentionally go off the path, it teleports you back, and then later on, it just tunnels you down. Like, it intentionally cuts you off. Like, you have to go this way.
So my Audacity file is, I only got about 12.5 minutes for you.
Oh, did it cut off?
Because, well, it said the disk was full, even though I installed it to a big 1 terabyte thing. I guess Audacity said, yeah, we'll install it to where you told us to, but the actual audio recordings, yeah, we're gonna fucking put that somewhere else.
We're good. I managed to record it on OBS anyway, so we're lucky. Fuck me, that's a good thing.
Okay.
I'm glad I enabled that, so I think we're good.
Awesome. All right, good, fantastic.
All right.
Thanks, Audacity, for doing that.
So I'm gonna coincide with our fuck up as the end of our podcast, so I can check this out and make sure we're good, so we're not repeating everything. So any closing statements you want to say to this very fucked up audience, I guess?
Well, you know, I'm sure you'll be able to find me through the description and that if you want to get my take on more things. But honestly, look, the way, and I've noticed this recently more than ever, but a lot of you guys might follow people and you might be interested in learning about, you know, YouTubers or content creators and what you do, and you want to jump into that world. You want to get into that, you know, the internet battleground arena of responding to people or debating people. And if you do, eventually you're going to make enemies. People are just not going to like your face. They're just going to not like you. And how you conduct yourself and the behavior that you exhibit online, you can be callous, you can be sort of rude, but don't do anything that's dishonorable. Don't be cowardly. Be a man, basically. I know it's the internet, it's not real life, quote unquote real life, but carry yourself in a way that would make people admire you. Do good things. Don't bitch out. It goes a long way for your sake, you know, especially building up an audience, a repertoire, a reputation, because reputations can be very important online, in real life, of course. But though I've noticed it really recently, there's a lot of people who will go out there, they'll lie, they'll be disingenuous, they'll just straight up try to assassinate your character because that's all they've got. And these people are disliked and they don't get big audiences, and that's one of the reasons why. So I've seen it more than ever, and it doesn't really bother me. It helps me. It's good for me that like my enemies, their incompetence is great, and I love it. I've got so much ammunition. But it's just for you. Just No, do something you're gonna be proud of. You know, carry your if you draw porn for a living, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's you could still have good character if you do that sort of thing. If you make videos that are about responding to people or make it a video game, something that appears really superficial, like you could still have really good character when you do it. You can still have your little code of ethics. You can still follow through on your principles. Just do the right thing. You know, it gets you places a lot of the time. And even if it doesn't, at least you could say, I didn't try to take down someone's channel. I didn't lie or slander other people. And that goes a long way, even if it's just personal, you know, just personal self-esteem. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, like,
because it's topical and it's what's on my mind.
Yeah, like, try not to burn your bridges. I know that a lot of things that are said on the internet can hurt your feelings really bad. Just try and take a breather for a minute, kind of figure out how much this actually affects me directly. Have a good read, ponder it over for a second. That's what a lot of people that form these opinions in the first place do. The ones that you're offended at, they tend to like really research their things. They look at both perspectives. They write a script. They ponder it over for like what can be days to weeks before they post these videos in the first place. So just try and empathize. I know empathy is very hard when you want to be angry, but empathize with their perspective. Trying to understand why they may have said these things, and you'll probably have a lot better luck penetrating and actually having a conversation with them.
Save your emotions for really important things. Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, normally, cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah, and if
don't let your emotions get the best of you.
If you don't have those more important things in your life happening to you right now, then don't give a shit about what people say on the internet. Just take it with stride, because ultimately it doesn't affect you. You'll live. Yeah, so
you will live. You'll live. You'll make it through. This is, people don't attack you. They say things you don't like. You know, this is the internet. They're not gonna kill you. Right?
Yeah,
they're not harassing you. They're disagreeing with you. Okay.
Yeah, that was the Cuckshack, everyone. Bye. Thanks for coming to the Cuckshack.
Wow, that episode was even better than the last one. Except for that audio quality. What the fuck was that? Learn to use Audacity, you fucking cucks. It's not even that hard.